I have a short story here I want to share. This is a message that we all know. We've heard this message. We've heard parts of this message, but it's just something that was impressed upon me that I think we need to be reminded about. And every once in a while, it's good to have a reminder. Everyone, even all of us here on a Wednesday night when our pastor's in a different state, when half of our congregation is gone, we're here doing the right thing. We're here at church. We're here to worship, and we're here to praise, and we're here to hear God's word, right? But we still need to hear this piece every once in a while about what we're supposed to be doing, what we're supposed to be doing when no one's looking. We're supposed to be doing the right thing, right? We're supposed to have integrity, and that integrity is being here, worshiping, being faithful. And I appreciate every single one of you. I appreciate everyone being here. I appreciate the prayers. I know that they're going out for me, for all the young preachers that came and preached, for the teens that are out there. I know they're going out. But we need to have this reminder. So here I have a short story. I was kind of studying up on this, and I came across this. I thought it was pretty cool. And it's a good way to start this. And then if you guys want to, while I'm reading this, you can turn to Psalms 15. That'll be our text tonight, Psalms 15. A successful businessman was growing old, and he knew it was time to choose a successor to take over his business. Instead of choosing one of his directors or his children, he decided to do something different. He called all the young executives into his company together, and he said, "It's time for me to step down and choose the next CEO. I've decided to choose one of you." The young executives were shocked, but the boss continued, "I'm going to give each one of you a seed today. And one very special seed, I want you to plant the seed and water it, and come back here 1 year from today with what you have grown from the seed I have given you. I will then judge the plants that you bring, and the one I choose will be the next CEO. One man named Jim was there that day, and he, like others, received a seed. He went home and excitedly told his wife the story. She helped him pot soil and compost and planted the seed. Every day he would water it, just like he was told, and he would watch to see if it had grown. After about 3 weeks, some of the other executives began to talk about their seeds and the plants that were beginning to grow. Jim kept checking his seed, but nothing ever grew. He continued to water and take care of it just like he was asked. 3, 4, 5 weeks went by, still nothing. But now others were talking about their plants. But Jim didn't have a plant, and he felt like a failure. 6 months went by, still nothing. He knew that he had killed his seed. Everyone else had trees and tall plants, and he had nothing. Jim didn't say anything to his colleagues. However, he just kept watering and fertilizing the soil, just like he was asked. He so wanted the seed to grow. A year went by, and the CEO asked the young executives to bring their plants to work for inspection. When Jim told his wife he wasn't going to take an empty pot, she asked him to be honest about what happened. Jim felt sick to his stomach, and he was going to be the most embarrassing moment of his life. But he knew his wife was right. He took his empty pot to the boardroom. When Jim arrived, he was amazed at the variety of plants grown by other executives. They were beautiful in all shapes and sizes. Jim put his empty pot on the floor, and many of his colleagues laughed and felt sorry for him. When the CEO arrived, he surveyed the room and greeted his young executives. Jim just tried to hide in the back. "My, what great plants, trees, flowers you have grown," said the CEO. "Today, one of you will be appointed the next CEO." All of a sudden, the CEO spotted Jim in the back of the room with his empty pot. He asked Jim to come to the front of the room. Jim was terrified. He thought, the CEO knows I'm a failure. Maybe he'll have me fired. When Jim got to the front, the CEO asked him what had happened to his seed. And Jim told him the story, the truth. The CEO asked everyone to sit down except for Jim. He looked at Jim and then announced to the young executives, "Behold, your next chief executive officer, Jim." Jim couldn't believe it. Jim couldn't even grow a seed. How could he be the next CEO, the others said. The CEO said, "1 year ago today, I gave everyone in this room a seed. I told you to take the seed. I told you to plant it. I told you to water it. And I told you to bring it back to me today. But I gave you all boiled seeds. They were dead. It was impossible for them to grow. All of you except Jim have brought me trees and plants and flowers when you found the seed would not grow. You substituted another seed for the one I gave you. Jim was the only one with the courage, honesty, may I say integrity, to bring me a pot with my seed in it. Therefore, he is the one who's the next chief executive. A story, we hear this word integrity a lot. We hear honesty, and we as Christians strive for that, right? We fail. Don't get me wrong. I fail, and I know you fail. We fail. We tell our lies, but we strive towards this thing, integrity, this thing called integrity. We're doing word studies in Sunday school right now, and I might have stole the word from my wife and didn't even know it. She's been studying this word for 2-3 weeks now. Had this whole thing planned out, and a couple days ago I said, I know what my sermon's on. And I told her, and she's like, you can't do that. That's my word. Everyone's going to think I was copying you, so I'm saying it right here from this pulpit with integrity. It was her idea first, all right? But I haven't read any of her notes either, all right? But the definition of integrity, right? Because to me, integrity, I learned it in the military. It was doing what's right even when no one is looking, right? But here's the 1828 Webster's Dictionary. It says, the entire unimpaired state of anything particularly of the mind, moral soundness or purity, incorruptness, uprightness, honesty, integrity comprehends the whole moral character, but has a special reference to uprightness in mutual dealings, transfers of property, and agencies for others. So I said we're going to be in Psalms 15. We're just going to jump right into that. Psalms 15, it's a psalm of David. And it says, verse 1, Lord, who shall abide in thy tabernacle? Who shall dwell in thy holy hill? He that walketh uprightly and worketh righteous and speaketh the truth in his heart. He that backbiteth not with his tongue, nor doeth evil to his neighbor, nor taketh up a reproach against his neighbor. In whose eyes a vile person contempted, but he honoreth them that fear the Lord. He that sweareth to his own heart and changeth not. He that putteth not out his money to usury, nor taketh reward against the innocent. He that doeth these things shall never be moved. I like this in the very beginning, that first verse, and the first couple times I read it, I missed it. It's a question, right? David is asking the Lord, who? Who shall abide in thy tabernacle? Who shall dwell on thy holy hill? Who is going to be with you? Who can be with you? And then David directly answers it right below it. And you'll notice that he says this word uprightly. And we notice that in the definition, that uprightness, right? Which in the Hebrew is meaning the uncorruptible, the someone who has integrity, the truthful, the honesty. So David is saying the people that can abide, the people that can be with you are the people who have integrity. Those are the people that God wants around him, because God is truth, right? That's what he is. Now, we know that telling the truth, honesty, that's what most people are going to think about integrity. Right when I first say it, if I were to come up to you and say, hey, what do you think integrity means? Everyone's going to be real quick to say, well, it's about being honest. It's about telling the truth, right? And we all know what the different ways to tell the truth is, right? We can tell a bold-faced lie, which is the worst kind of lie, the one that is going to get you in trouble no matter what. You're flat out lying. And where do we know that that's wrong? Well, right there in the 9th commandment. I don't know how else. I can't even preach on that. It's wrong. 9th commandment. It says what? Thou shalt not bear false witness. Don't lie. Black and white. In the military, they said you can't argue with black and white. It's right there. Don't do that. So, then we'll have the naysayers that say, well, no, Jesus came down and he abolished the law. Those 10 commandments, it's okay. We can, no. We all know better. He did not abolish the law, all right? Matthew 5:17, think not that I am come to destroy the law or the prophets. I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill. Jesus came down to fulfill the law. He came down because he knew I was going to lie. You were going to lie. There was nothing that we could do. We're going to hell. He saw it. He's above time. And he went, oh, well, let me go get my children, right? Let me go get them. And he died for us. Gruesome, horrible death. And I'm so thankful for it, because I do lie. I've lied today. I'll lie tomorrow. I lied yesterday. I'm not proud of it. I'm not standing up here behind this pulpit proclaiming, let's go lie. Absolutely not. It is wrong, and we all know it. But we still do it, right? And maybe it might not be that bold-faced lie, but what about that other one? What about that little white lie? What about that one? That's all right. Especially when she says, how do I look in this dress? Great. Fantastic. Absolutely. It's Sunday morning. We ain't doing this right now. I got to go to church. Huh? Or the one I get quite often, I come up and I do this number right here. You know how fast you're going? Yes, you do. Yes, I do. I knew exactly how fast I was going because I looked down when I saw the lights. But we already thinking of the lie. Oh, officer, I wasn't paying attention. I had it on cruise control. Yep, sure did. The car's messed up. I was following the traffic in front of me. Lie, lie, lie. Every bit of it, right? Yep. Who ate the rest of the Cheez-Its? I got her the other night. I love my Cheez-Its. I got them boiled cheddar. They're delicious. I had about that much left. I got home from work. I said, those are going to be good. Open the cabinet. They're gone. I said, who ate my Cheez-Its? Mommy said I could. It's okay, honey. We got you more Cheez-Its. It's all right. Here's one. What's wrong? Nothing. We know that's a lie. And we also know not to ask any more questions. That's it. Nothing. Roger. I'll be over here. Right? What about this one? Asking your buddy, hey, you all right? Yeah, man, I'm good. Why you gonna lie about that? Well, he's asking to help you. What if it was Jesus? Are you okay? And you look at him and you say, I'm good. First lying to him and then denying his help. Let's think about this for a second. That man that came up to you, that woman that came up to you, that person that came up to you and says, are you okay? They weren't acting of their own accord. Something pushed them to ask that question. You might have been praying for it 2, 5, 3, however earlier. Someone else might have prayed for it. I see someone hurting. I'm going to pray for him. And God's going to send someone over there and say, hey, are you all right? And the devil's going to creep in. And you're going to be like, yeah, I'm fine. All that help you were asking for is gone because of a little white lie. Oh, white lies are okay. It's all right. What about that exaggeration? The fish. I got one this big once. No kidding. No kidding. No, all right, well, it was a little catfish. I got 2 catfish nuggets out of it there in Wilmington. But I tell everybody that thing was huge. We were out there for 3 hours, me and my buddy. We got a fish about that big. We took it back to, this is true story now. We were out there for 3 hours, caught a catfish, right? And look, we're taking it home. We're going to eat it. He was a chef. He could make really good food. We took it back to his apartment. He made catfish nuggets. We thought we were going to have a catfish sandwich. He got brioche buns. We got fresh stuff from the market. We had he's going to make this beautiful catfish. He had some tartar sauce that he made up from scratch. I said, man, everything's looking so good. I looked down and these fillets that I thought we were going to get were nuggets. Best fish I ever ate. Caught it myself. And it was this big. Exaggeration. I was a pretty good athlete. Oh, really? Really? Kids nowadays are going to have a problem being able to exaggerate that because Facebook was watching them. Back in my day, we didn't have nobody watching. Yeah, there's game films out there somewhere, and hopefully a lot of those highlights are still around, and you could actually see that I had a few good plays, a few. But when I go to the guys and I talk about football, I usually only talk about those few. I don't talk about all the stuff I messed up. I exaggerate 100%. Oh, yeah. I had many sacks in one game. I tried my best. Did you really? Did you really, or are you just looking for a little bit of pity because you failed? And it wasn't that you failed without someone helping you, because if you would have done it the way that you were supposed to, if you asked for help, he would have helped you, and he won't fail you, right? You're going to lie, and again, you're going to say something like that about Jesus or God when he could have been the one that was there helping you, and he gave you everything you needed, and you were the one that didn't take the step, and then you're going to exaggerate. Now, here's another one. Oh, the light was yellow. No. No, it wasn't. I know it wasn't. I saw it turn red. Here's one that probably every single person in this room has done. Every single person in here has exaggerated this a little bit. Now, I'm not saying you do it every time, so don't start stoning me. But every single person in here has done this. I'll be praying for you. I'm sorry. It's not for lack of trying. It's not for anything like that. I'll get busy. I forget. I can give you a million excuses, but none of them matter. You asked me to pray for you, and I didn't. But I came back and said, I'll be praying for you. God heard that. And he heard you not praying about it. Over time, lying in little things make it easier and easier to lie in bigger situations we face. We start to develop a habit, and we become a person that we never thought ourselves to be. A liar. An exaggeration and a white lie and a bold-faced lie to Jesus is all the same thing. And we do it every day, sometimes with a smile on our face, as if to just spit in his. I noticed another part of that. David was talking about living uprightness, living upright. Right? We've heard this before. Upright, trying to be an upright citizen, a standing upright citizen. I hold myself to a higher standard, right? It means honesty. It means integrity in principle or practice, conformity, right? To stand upright, stand tall, not in pride or vanity, but in good moral principle. Think of it this way. I'm battling this right now. And I full wholeheartedly believe that when the Lord gives me a message, he's giving it to me first. And I have to get up here in front of y'all and preach what I'm supposed to be practicing. That's very humbling, because I know exactly what I'm saying to you, and I know what's going on in my heart. And let me tell you what, if I've had anyone out here where their heart starts burning a little bit through any of this, you have no idea what's going on in here. I have a compartmentalized life right now. I don't know how many other Christians have this problem, but it is a problem that I recognize, and I try my hardest to make it a whole life filled of Jesus. But my compartmentalized life, what do I mean by that? I mean, I have my work life, I have my family life, I have my church life, right? And we'll just put those three in there. Of course, there's a private life. There's other little things in there. But those three things, I'm not saying I'm a different person. I'm the same guy. You guys can see me anywhere, and I'm still going to be that goofy, funny. I'm going to do something dumb. I don't know. I'll be me, right? You recognize me. But I'm going to act a little bit different here than I act here. Yes, sir. I'm going to act a little bit different here than I act here. And Jesus doesn't want that. That's right. Jesus wants to be in the midst. He wants to be in the center. And you're lying to yourself. Your integrity is not where it's supposed to be. You're supposed to be living upright. You're supposed to be not having a compartmentalized life. That's spiritual life, work life, home life, family life, private life. All these lives that you are living should just be one that's centered around Jesus. When I go to work, I should be able to talk the same that I'm talking right now from this pulpit. When I go home, I should be able to talk to my kids and my family and have the same respect that I have at this pulpit. There should not be differences. But I struggle, and I know you all do too. Standing upright. What's the opposite of that? What's the opposite of being upright, of that honesty, of that integrity? You look it up. The opposite of that is being called a hypocrite. We've heard things about hypocrites in the Bible. I'll read one to you right now, Matthew 6:5. Jesus says, "And when thou prayest, thou shalt not be as the hypocrites are, for they love to pray, standing in the synagogues and in the corners of the streets, that they may be seen. Verily I say unto you, they have their reward." We can read a few more in Matthew. You guys probably have read them before. You know, you have Matthew 23:35. I'm not going to get through them. Josh wants to get out of here. Was that a good time to put in the hypocrite part? Was it? I'm sorry. I don't mean that. I love you, Josh. I know. Jesus made it very clear that he wants nothing to do with the hypocrites. These were his people. These were the leaders of the Jewish religion while he was walking the earth. They were the ones standing right here talking to the synagogue. And Jesus is sitting out there saying, "Ye hypocrites, ye hypocrites, your integrity is nothing. You have zero integrity. You're not telling the truth. You're not living the truth. You're not standing upright. You're compartmentalized so much that you put that robe on and you become a different person. I know the real person." And guess what? You have your reward. And guess what? He knows all of us the same way. You can hide from me. You can hide from the preacher. You can hide from your wife. You can't hide from him. You think he's not watching? Doing what's right even when no one is looking. Let me tell you a secret. There's always someone looking. He sees everything. That little white lie, that little exaggeration, that compartmentalized life, not standing in uprightness, missing those little things. That's a tick every time you mess up. We started off with David here, and we know David's story. I'm not going to go through that for the interest of time. If you want, you can turn to... let's just do this. We got time. Let's do this real quick. I'll take it. Let's turn to Psalm 26. Should just be a couple over. It's right there. Psalm 26. We're going to read the whole thing again. We read 2 books of the Bible tonight. Won't preacher be proud of us? How about that? We're live, aren't we? He heard that. Psalm 26. Another Psalm of David here. "Judge me, O Lord, for I have walked in mine integrity." Here we go. "I have trusted also in the Lord, therefore I shall not slide. Examine me, O Lord, and prove me. Try my reins and my heart. For thy loving kindness is before mine eyes, and I have walked in thy truth. I have not sat with vain persons, neither will I go in with dissemblers. I have hated the congregation of evildoers, and will not sit with the wicked. I will wash mine hands in innocency. So I will compass thine altar, O Lord, that I publish with the voice of thanksgiving and tell all of thy wondrous works. Lord, I have loved the habitation of thy house and the place where thine honor dwelleth. Gather not my soul with sinners, nor my life with bloody men, in whose hands is mischief, and their right hand is full of bribes. But as for me, I walk with mine integrity. Redeem me, be merciful unto me. My foot standeth in an even place. In my congregations will I bless the Lord." Now David, we all know the story. We know Bathsheba. David was not a hypocrite. God said many times that David's integrity, and we saw it in the beginning, David's integrity was the integrity, I think he told Saul or Solomon. I can't remember. But he told him that you need to rule with David's integrity. God said this. God used David's integrity as a standard of what we should try to achieve. Mind you, this is the same man that committed adultery with one of his soldiers' wives. This is the same man that let Jerusalem fall. This is the man that made a huge mistake. His integrity, his moral compass went way off. But what did David do? Well, he was uncorruptible. He came clean. He made amends. And he didn't go out and try to make things worse. When the king and his son died, David didn't go out and try to make things worse. He went out and tried to make it better. Said, all right, well, let's go get them squared away. They were my enemies. They were hunting me, but let's take care of them. Let's do this the right way. Why? David knew he made a mistake. He repented for it. In that cave, we have a lot of writings in here, but you guys can only imagine how messed up it would be if the Lord looked at you straight in the eyes and said, I'm so disappointed. That disappointed speech from the Lord is going to hurt. And that happened to David right there. So I can only imagine what was going on in that cave in his heart. And when he, the man after God's own heart, figured out, I messed up, I'm not going to be corrupted by it. I'm not going to let it push me back. I'm going to continue to move forward. I'm going to lift my head. I'm going to stand back upright. I'm going to apologize, not just to him, but to the people that I did it to. And I'm going to continue on. Mind you, the people that he did it to. When we lie, a white lie, a bold-faced lie, even exaggeration, it can hurt somebody and we don't even know about it. We have no idea. Today I got a phone call. I had a guy at work that had to call in sick, so we had to have another guy come in. He doesn't usually come in at the time that he came in today, and he's supposed to be there at 7. I call him at 8 o'clock because he's still not there. Hey, bud, where you at? I'm on my way. I'm at the vet. I got to go. I'm coming in. Everything all right? It's going to be all right. And he just immediately played it off like every excuse in the book, right? I went on about my day. It's whatever. I mean, I'm going to get paid either way. I'm at work. I don't care. You know, don't show up, show up. I'm still getting my check. But it blew my mind because right before we got here, I'm sitting on the couch and I get a phone call from him. He don't call me. He's kind of a high-strung dude. I love him to death. But he's you think I ain't going to talk about him. Anyways, he calls me up and he says, never says my first name. Everybody calls me Berg. He says my first name. He says, hey, Daniel, I just wanted to call and apologize, man. What for? He's like, this morning, I was late. It was my fault, 100%. I was wrong. I held you up. I said, it's not a big deal. He's like, no, it is. I got to come clean. I set my alarm. It went off. I hit snooze. I fell back asleep. No excuse. I messed up. I was late because of me. Oh, thanks, man, I guess. Yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. He's like, all right, I'll see you tomorrow. Has anyone ever been able to do that? Has anyone ever been able to, after you told a lie, go back and apologize to the person you lied to? I don't know how hard it was for him to do it, but I know how hard it was to hear it. And I was on the receiving end. I was happy to get that call. But I was uncomfortable, so I can only imagine how uncomfortable it was for him. But you know what? He said, my integrity just got put in check. I lied. Let me make it right. I work with this guy. I'm going to make it right. And he did. That's what David did. That's what we should do. It's not going to hurt, you guys. It's not going to hurt when she asks, do I look good in this dress? And you say, no. Matter of fact, it can help. Here's what I mean by that. I heard a story the other day, and I haven't done this because I am very scared of what will happen. But I've been sitting on it for just the right moment, and now she's going to know, so I don't know if it's going to work. But this man was talking about how marriages last, and senior saints, please correct me if I'm wrong. But this man said, sometimes when my wife asks, how do I look? I'll be honest with her. Well, babe, that dress doesn't flatter you at all. No, he's not going to be mean. He's not going to tell her she looks bad. No, that dress isn't flattering on you. You have other dresses that you look way better in. I don't like that one. It's not mean. She might take it that way, and you might have to deal with it. But get this. If you do that, and you mean it, every once in a while, when you guys are old, And gravity has started to get a little bit on her. And things have started to go. And you look at her and you say, you're the most beautiful woman in the world. She knows you're going to mean it. Because you've told her the truth. You told her when she looked, I wouldn't wear that. Integrity can be a great thing. It can hurt a little bit. It's going to sting. Sometimes it's uncomfortable. But it can be great. It can be fantastic. Every good and perfect thing comes from above. That's a good and perfect thing, that integrity. And He's going to bless you for it. I got a few more stories to tell, but I think I'm going to skip past them. I think we've pretty much got the point of this. There's one last thing I want to say. We're all here tonight on a Wednesday night. And again, just like I said in the beginning, the Lord is glorified from this. You being here tonight shows glory. When your preacher isn't even here, you came to your church with your congregation and listened to whatever silly guy was going to be up here reading from the Bible. And you've sat through it, and thank you. But that glorified the Lord. You were doing the right thing. Now, I want you to think about something. I want you to think about the little sliver that sitting here is doing for you. And I want to make sure that you're in the right heart. Because that's where your uprightness, that's where your integrity, that's where that all comes from. It comes from your heart. A buddy of mine, Gym Rat, when I was in the military, Gym Rat means that he goes to the gym all the time. Just in case anybody didn't know, right? He tells me, looks over at me, and I've always had a problem beefing up my arms, but I'm beefing up my arms at this point. And he says, well, what are you doing at the gym? And he's swollen. We've been going to the gym about the same. And he said, what are you doing? I said, I don't know, man. I'm doing the same reps you are. I'm doing the same stuff you are. Yeah, you got a little bit of weight on me, but that shouldn't make a difference. I should still be cut. He said, well, what are you doing? I said, I don't know, man. I go to the gym. I work out. I do my sets. And I go get on the treadmill or something. I do some cardio so I can eat some calories during the day because I want an ice cream sandwich and a cheeseburger and a french fry. He said, hold on. You go to the gym so you can eat junk food. Well, yeah, right? Because I go to the gym so I can eat junk food. He said, no. You need to go to the gym so that you can build your body. You don't go to the gym so that you can do something bad and feel better for it. We don't come to church so we can go out and do something bad and feel better about it. Our integrity is in check tonight. When we walk out that door, you will be faced in the next hour, maybe tomorrow morning, with the opportunity to lie. Try not to. Feel the blessing that comes from it.